Most people believe that to change their life or some aspect of their life, they need to learn more. So that way, they learn and they read book after book. They attend course after course. And then still they find their life is not changing. Let's find out what we need to do instead of learning more and more. Hi, welcome back to OneUs. Today it's day 41 and we will be looking at verse 41 from Tao Te Ching. As usual, let's observe a few seconds of silence. Thank you. So now let's look at verse 41 from Tao Te Ching. The wise student hears of the Tao and practices it diligently. The average student hears of the Tao and thinks about it now and then. The foolish student hears of the Tao and laughs out loud. So to understand the first three lines, we need to replace the word Tao with anything that we want to learn. It is not just specific to Tao. For an example, we know from our life that we all face a lot of challenges in our life. It can be from health, it can be relationship, it can be career, it can be anything. However, what we believe is that the more we gain through knowledge by reading books and attending courses, going to solve all our challenges. And constantly we see that the challenge remains the same. The reason that the quest to understand more and learn more of the knowledge lessen the practice. What I mean is, the understanding, it's not equal to practicing. That's why they say we are one book away from changing our life. It doesn't mean that we have to read 100 books to change our life, but any book, it can be anything on health or a wealth or a career or a relationship. Just read any book, the one book. And then you will see that if you practice what has been said or what has been told in that book, your life changing. However, what we do is we go to the next book. We believe that that book is better than the one that we read. We attend the next course, believing that the other one will be better than the other one that we attended. So that way, the constant pursuit of knowledge, it is not going to help us change our life. And that's what Laotzu means here. So the wise students read one book and practices it. And then the average student, they practices now and then. And I consider myself to be very average student. And the foolish student laughs it out loud. They don't even read in the first place when they get to know that there is an idea, something that can help change their life. And that's what Laotzu means in the first three lines. Then he goes on to say, if there were no laughter, the Tao would not be what it is. This line is so profound. What it means is, so most often that we see that any new idea that we come in touch with, the first reaction is to reject it. We don't accept the idea because from our upbringing, we come up with lots of thoughts, beliefs and ideas. And then it is not easy to shake those ideas and beliefs over one book. That is why we laugh it out when we come across first time. Then over the period of time after the repetition, we try to understand. And finally, when we understand it, then we follow it. And this we can see over the history as well. Any drastic change in the thought of idea, it can be even in science, it was all laughed at when it was proposed by great minds. For an example, when Pythagoras suggested that earth can be round or spherical, they all laughed it out. The people who laughed are all scholars, the learned people who knows a lot of things. However, they find it hard to believe the earth is round because they believed at that point in time earth is flat. And then when Copernicus suggested that earth revolves around sun and earth is not the center of the universe, people laughed at him. The reason? People so far they believed that the earth is the center of the whole universe. However, people were wrong. They couldn't understand and accept the idea. And then later, when we look at even Einstein, the theory of relativity, when he proposed it, people cannot grasp the idea of time and space and gravity. And that is why again they laughed at it, because they were following the Newton's law. And when someone challenged it, they laughed at him. And this example can go on and on and on. Even the evolution of our species, which was proposed by Charles Darwin, people couldn't accept the idea that we are evolved from apes. All Charles Darwin was pointing out was as simple as that. Our genetic code resembles to the one of apes. We have a common ancestor. And people still couldn't accept. And that is what Laotzu means here is, without the laughter, it is not a significant idea or a change. So it is fine when people laugh at it. That's okay. And that's exactly what makes it a profound knowledge. Then he says, hence it is said, the bright path seems dim. So whatever the brightest idea, the first it may look so dim. It is not like a shining gold that all and every person and every people will run towards it. Sometimes it is so dim that not many even feel or show their attention towards. And then he says, going forward seems like retreat. In order to change our life and move forward, sometimes the idea what has been told or we want to practice, it feels like going behind in time, like ancient wisdoms. We all look for the modern and new age wisdom, whereas we believe that the ancient ones are old. However, I believe the ancient wisdom are still relevant for our time more than it was ever. And then he goes on and says, the easy way seems hard. So this is a very intriguing line. The easy way seems hard. So for an example, we all know what needs to be done. Say if we want to change our health, we know that we need to eat healthy food, we need to do exercise. And if we want to be better in our relationship, then we have to spend more time, be present. We need to give love to get love. It is so easy that we find it too hard to practice every single day. And that's what Laotzu means here. And then he goes on to say, the highest virtue seems empty. If you have watched the movie Kung Fu Panda, there is one famous dialogue, right? So the Po will ask his father, what is the secret ingredient to the noodle soup? For that, his father responds saying that there is no secret. It is as simple as that. In life, we tend to believe that there is some kind of a secret it is there which we need to uncover. However, I believe there are no secrets. It is plain there. It is right there. Just that we don't see it with the right perspective. And then Laotzu goes on to say, the wealth of virtue seems inadequate. The virtue, the knowledge, it's inadequate. There is so much it is there in abundance. We always feel it is inadequate. That's why we go one after the other. And then he says, real virtue seems unreal. So when he says real virtue seems unreal, he means that sometimes when someone gives us a wisdom, we ask us how this can be true. Because it is so simple that it cannot be true. We don't want to believe that in so simple things. So we want something very complex, something very godly person who has to come from the sky and tell us this is the way to do. However, we don't want to believe in simple things. And that's what Laotzu means here. Then he talks about great talents ripen late. Very profound again. So what he means by great talent ripen late is, we know that the importance of practice. There is a book about 10,000 hours of practice, what it takes to become a great talent. So the people who are really good and really great at their art, they practice a lot. They practice for years and years to become great. And that's why they ripen late. So the moment they get their attention, it is late. That's why the great talents ripen late. Then the greatest form has no shape. Here how I relate is, the greatest knowledge or the greatest wisdom is when you don't get attached to any idea, any belief or nothing. Not even to the Tao, not even to this book, nothing. You can always challenge any thought or any idea that comes to us, and then what feels right to us, what feels congruent to within us, we can take that. That's how I relate this verse. And finally, he talks about the Tao is hidden without name, Tao alone nourishes it. And what it means is the truth, the eternal truths are always simple and hidden. And just that we have to see with the right perspective to know what it is. Instead of going on in the quest of what is a secret and needing to know more and more, instead allow ourselves to practice more. That's how I relate the whole of this verse 41. So, to digest in a one quick way, all I can see is understanding is not enough. We need to practice. Learning more and more, it is not the way to get results. Instead, practicing. So that's why the first step is to let go of all the knowledge that we already have and take one book, whatever it is, whatever the book it is, and practice what it has been told. That way, it is more fruitful than running behind more knowledge. With that, we come to the end of verse 41. And one actionable thought for today is, look at your own life. What is the area that you really want to change? Is it your health? It's your career? Or it is your relationship? Or it is something to do with money? And ask your own self, what is the one practice that I like to do every single day? Just follow through that one single practice. Maybe write it on a single paper and then post it wherever that you want. And just practice that one thing that you want to do every single day, which will help you with that area that you want to improve. So that way, instead of going after book, you practice more. That way, the life starts changing. So with that thought, let's conclude day 41 and talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.